Good morning and welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers, or CACRAO, and StriveScan. We thank you for joining us this morning. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can utilize the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening through this partnership with CACRAO and StriveScan. So we encourage you to check out all of the opportunities at CACRAO's website, CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week after it has concluded on the CACRAO website. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters so that they can begin their session.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Adam. Good morning, everyone. We are so happy to have you with us this morning. I'm with my colleagues. We'll introduce ourselves in just a moment, but making sure that you are in the right session. Today, we're going to be helping you connect the dots between CTE electives and a college degree. And we're going to be exploring a wide variety of options for those of you that are in CTE courses currently at your high school that you are enjoying. CTE, of course, career and technical education. And there's such a huge variety of courses that you're taking in high school. We may not touch on every single one of them, but I'll introduce our goal in just a moment. So I think the first thing we'd like to do is some introductions today. Each of us is going to take just a moment, introduce ourselves. My name is Mandy Hines. I'm with Johnson & Wales University. We have a campus located in Charlotte, right in the heart of Uptown, a few blocks from Panther Stadium. We started back in 1914 as a business college to really prepare students for a career of their choice with a lot of hands-on and experiential learning. So main campus is in Providence and our other campus is in Charlotte. I'll hand it over to my other presenters to tell you a little bit about their school.
Good morning. My name is Bernard Allen. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Living Arts College, located in the capital city of North Carolina, Raleigh. We are art-based school that takes a hands-on approach. You'll see some of the programs we do a little later on. So, hey, get your water, get whatever it is that you have this morning, and we look forward to presenting on today.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Lee Edwards. I am the coordinator of student recruitment at Cape Fear Community College. We are a two-year school located in Wilmington, North Carolina. So really kind of between the Cape Fear River and the beach. We offer a wide variety of programs from university transfer to health sciences to a huge number of career and technical education degrees. So if you want to come and learn a skill, learn a trade, and live at the beach, we're the place to be.
Thank you, Lee. And you're going to hear more from each of us throughout the session today as we take a dive into some of these majors helping you connect the dots. So let's look at the goal for today's session on our next slide. What we really hope today, after you've heard from all three of us, is to identify some of these majors that are going to allow you to continue building on what you're passionate about. Most of you listening to this session have taken at least one or two or three CTE electives in high school. And so I'm going to hand it over to my presenter here, Lee, in just a moment. But before I do that, I want to make sure we understand what the word major means. So in high school, you may have a pathway, especially in CTE, we use the term career pathway a lot, which means that you're under a certain discipline, whether it's business or health science or family and consumer sciences. But when you get to college, those disciplines are called majors. So a major is a program that you select when you actually begin your college experience, or you select it a little bit later in your college experience, but it is the same as the pathway that you're pursuing in high school. So I'm going to turn it over to Lee. She's going to talk a little bit more about CTE and why you probably enjoy it and why it's important to carry that on through the college experience.
So I'm sure a lot of y'all are taking CTE classes. You may not call them CTE. In high school, you probably call them that fun elective that you get to go to. where you don't have to sit behind your desk and take notes. You know, maybe you're in the culinary class where you get to, you know, make a meal or make a cake, or maybe you're in carpentry and you get to build. You know, I think that the carpentry classes in my high school, they built Adirondack chairs. Or maybe you're in automotive and you get to change oil, or in a health science class and you're getting, you know, you're getting a credential such as your CNA, you're getting on that CNA registry. So CTE classes, they're the really fun classes in high school. A lot of them have those work-based learning. Well, we call it work-based learning. You guys might call it job shadowing. And there are internships available if you, you know, kind of, you know, start at the bottom with that first CTE class and just keep stacking on those CTE classes on top of each other. You know, and some CTE classes are going to help you get certifications at the end, such as your nursing fundamentals class, where you might become a CNA, or you might take, you know, your carpentry class and you get your OSHA 10 certification. So these are really fun classes. They're a lot different than your, you know, your math or your English classes. But most importantly, they really help you prepare for your career. So they kind of help you kind of define what you're interested in. And that's really great because it can help you kind of narrow down what you might want to major in once you get to school. And there are a lot of options for what you can do with, you know, kind of that foundation that you learned in your CTE class, and for that foundation that you've learned in that class and what you might want to major in when you get to college. And there are a lot of college options. So, you know, you might want to do a trade school or like a specialty training. For example, there's the NASCAR school in Charlotte, or you might want to go to a community college. There are 58 in North Carolina, and they're all public. Or you might want to go to a four-year university. You could go to a public university or a private university. There are a ton of options, and all of these schools have degrees where you can take what you've learned in those CTE classes and make it a career. And for example, health sciences, some of those classes that you're taking in high school, your health science class, your biomed technology, pharmacy tech, your EMT class, these are skills that you learn in there that you can take to a degree. For example, sonography, dental hygiene, nursing is always a really popular one. But you know, you can take that pharmacy tech class in high school, and then you can go and get an associate's degree in pharmacy tech. Or you can, you know, go to a four-year school and work your way to become a pharmacist. So these are really great options, really great ways to take what you're learning in those high school CTE classes and turn it into a career. And then we've just got some photos here that kind of shows you some students who are really taking what they've learned in high school and applying it to their college degree. We've got students doing radiography. There's some occupational therapy assistant students, some dental hygiene, nursing, just really a wide variety in health sciences. It's such a growing field, and it is a great opportunity to take, you know, maybe take that health science or that nursing fundamentals class that you're in right now, and kind of think, well, is this something I could see myself doing for the rest of my career? And then taking that information, going to college and majoring in nursing or majoring in dental assisting or dental hygiene. Another pathway that some of you guys might be in is kind of architecture and construction. So these are kind of classes like your construction core or introduction to engineering design, maybe interior design. It doesn't sound like it, but interior design definitely fits into that architecture and construction pathway. You know, maybe you're in the electrical trades class or the plumbing class. You can take what you're learning in these classes and you can major in this. You know, you can major in architectural technology, electrical systems, HVAC, plumbing, sustainability technologies, which is, you know, kind of green building and environmentally friendly building practices. You can major in interior design. And it doesn't have to be just at, a community college. You can get these degrees at a community college and then go to a four-year school, or you can go straight to a four-year school and major in architecture or interior design, or you can do electrical engineering. These are all things that your CTE classes in high school are really giving you a foundation to kind of build upon once you get to college. And this is just some of our students here at Cape Fear, but it's a really good representation of really kind of any college, from interior design, which is over here on the left. There's architectural drafting, which is on the bottom right. And then we've got, some students welding and plumbing. It's all things that, a lot of these students took CTE classes in high school, and now they are making a career out of it. So Bernard, I'll pass it on to you.
All right, thank you, Lee. Outstanding work. Living Arts College, our career clusters that we focus on here are the arts, AV technology, and communications. And this career cluster focuses on careers in designing, producing, exhibiting, performing, writing, publishing multimedia content, which includes visual and performing arts and design, journalism, and entertainment services. So careers in this area require a creative aptitude. And one of the things that we impress upon potential students is the ability to apply your creativity through these formats. So you have to have a strong background in computer and technology, and of course, strong academic foundation and proficiency in oral and written communications. Now, some of the classes, and this is a short list, that may be offered at your high school include the Adobe Visual Digital Video Design, Game Art Design, or Advanced Game Art Design, even interior design, as Lee mentioned earlier, marketing. Some high schools, you may be able to take photography, project management courses. And then even outside of CTE, there are some courses such as Art 1, all the way through Honors Art, Band as well, those programs. Of course, here we have our 6 majors: animation game design, audio production and design, digital filmmaking, interactive media, interior design, and photography. Those are the programs that Living Arts College offers, but you can find many of those at other institutions of higher learning as well. And we do offer a bachelor's degree in those programs. We also take transfer credits as well. And so there's definitely a connection between the arts and audio video technology as a component to what it is that happens here at Living Arts College and other schools. And one of the questions we normally get are what type of jobs, right? Because you gotta include that in your preparation for college and even in college and in your decision making. And some of the job titles in this particular area include audio visual technician, multimedia specialist, art director, animators, right? Photographer, interior designer, audio engineer, and sound designer. And so as far as the arts and audio visual technology, those are the areas. And they encompass the design and multimedia arts. So if you're taking courses in multimedia design, make sure that you understand some Photoshop and an Adobe software package, the Adobe Creative Cloud. Those type of classes translate to what it is that you are able to do in this career cluster. So our next, and of course, next you'll see some examples of our students and some of the designs that they're able to do on our next slide. that they do in that area. And so as you see everything from photography down here at the bottom. You've got interior design, a little bit of audio right here, a little bit of image editing here. This is some more image editing, some graphic design type stuff. And so here a little bit of animation, wonderful edited type stuff that incorporates arts and audiovisual technology. So our next part of that career cluster deals with communications. You know, this is a world filled with communicating in different areas. And so in some of the courses that you may be able to take in high school, I have taken or are currently taking, are Introduction to Graphic Communications, journalism, broadcasting. There are schools that offer that, print advertising and design, any type of marketing or advertising type courses, multimedia, web page design, and project management. So those are just a sample of what most high schools in our area offer. As far as the CTE side, dealing with communications. And once again, our 6 majors do cover these areas: animation and games, audio production and design, digital film, interactive media, which is graphic design and web design, interior design and photography. But also now, as part of communications, there is some new technology as well. And those are deals with virtual reality and augmented reality. Those are things that you may be familiar with a little bit, but as you go through communications and arts and audiovisual technology, you can get into these areas as well. These are things that we offer here at Living Arts College. Virtual reality, if you don't know, refers to computer-generated simulation in which a person can interact with the artificial 3-dimensional environment using special electronic devices, such as the Oculus or the HoloLens goggles. Augmented reality deals with experiencing where designers enhance parts of users' physical world with computer-generated input. So they create inputs such as sound to video, graphics to GPS overlays. So those are things that we do in all of our programs, but those are on the new type of technology that are in high demand right now. And some of the jobs that you can obtain with background in communications, of course, graphic designer, broadcaster, journalist, video editor, filmmaker, jobs in advertising and marketing, social media manager. That's one that you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with social media blowing up in all across the job arena. Content creators and creative directors, along with art directors as well. And so as we move to our next slide, you will see what some of those looks like in the world of communications. This is, of course, one of our students with the Oculus, the headset, in the world of virtual reality. And so you've got video games, you've got manufacturing training that involves the Oculus headset for 3D areas. Of course, the HoloLens as well. Wonderful way in the area of communications, dealing with job training again, and in that world of virtual reality and augmented reality. Of course, you've got broadcasting, sound design, and sound technicians as part of the communication process. And then, of course, you got filmmaking and camera technicians who in the communication process through movies, TV and TV broadcasting in that arena. So there's a multitude of things that you can do, opportunities that's within this career cluster. And it's a matter of you finding what you're passionate about and finding the right fit for what it is that you want to do. And so we say, make sure you get all of your information, explore all the colleges that offer what it is that you want to do in the CTE area. So we'll throw it over to my friend Mandy from Johnson & Wales.
Thank you, Bernard. So again, we're going to explore 2 other additional pathways, but we had a series of questions come in while we've been presenting that I'd like to go ahead and address, because I think that they're very valuable questions. The questions were really around how do you get credit, college credit? And Bernard, I know you're looking at the chat throughout today, so if I don't encapsulate all of this series of questions, we can tag on here at the end too. But the question was really, students, how can you get college credit for what you're doing right now in these CTE courses? Is it better to really do the career and college promise route, or is it better to take the class in your high school? And so I'd like to acknowledge that there are 2 ways really to take any of the CTE credit you're doing in high school at the college level. One of those ways is through certifications. So for example, today you see I'm going to cover hospitality management and tourism. And if you look at this list of courses in high school, I'm just going to use this as one example of many. Foods 1 and 2. Well, there's a certification students you can take in Foods 2 called ServSafe Food Manager, or there's a Safe Plate certification. That certification may exempt you from a class at the college level. For example, Culinary 110, which at the community college is safety and sanitation. So earning that cert gets you credit for that class at the college level. Now, if you get that certification in high school and you decide to go into Adobe gaming design, that certification is not really going to mean much to that major. So the certification helps primarily if you are pursuing a major in that pathway. The other way to get college credit is to do career and college promise courses. Health science is a perfect example of that. So some students at their high school can take, I believe it's Nurse Aid 1, and that may have changed. So Lee, when we circle back to Q&A, please correct me if I'm wrong, but my daughter took the Nurse Aid program in high school and got her CNA. So that was going to award her credit for that class because she was taking it in conjunction with the community college. Now, there are lots of opportunities for that across the state, and every location is a little bit different. But a traditional high school course like Principles of Business, if that's a class you're taking at your high school, that class isn't going to translate to a college class unless it's taken through the community college career and college promise program. But what it does give you is exposure. And sometimes students finding out that you don't like something is just as important as finding out you do like something. Eliminating things that you don't want to do is really important for figuring out what you do want to do. Again, when you look here at this list of career clusters that I want to talk about, culinary and hospitality, for example, if you decide that working with a knife in the kitchen and cleaning up is just out of your comfort zone, then chances are you do not need to pursue a career pathway in culinary arts because you're going to wash a lot of dishes. So eliminate that from your list and find something else that you're passionate about. I think that's the biggest bonus to taking CTE courses. We're hoping today that you found some things you're passionate about, and so we're helping connect that dot to what your next step is. So I know we can go back and touch on that a little bit more if we need to. One other thought, students, this would be something you need to talk to your career development coordinator or your teacher about. Some high schools have local articulation with their community college. And here's what that means. That means that in your community, you could get credit for a series of courses when you go to the local community college. Now, that's not a statewide agreement. As you heard me use the word local, it is in your area. But I know, for example, in the Carteret County community, there are some local agreements with the high schools for local community college credit to take a series of courses. So talk with your teacher about that. Most schools have someone to connect you with your community college. So now let's launch into this last career cluster, and then we can circle back if there were more questions that pop up about college credit for high school classes. This is hospitality management and tourism is an area where Johnson & Wales has a very, very solid global reputation as being one of the top culinary and hospitality schools in the world. And so I am passionate about this, and I used to teach culinary arts at a high school here in North Carolina. So I know that these are the classes that you're taking, some of you students, culinary and hospitality, you might be taking entrepreneurship. Maybe you've been a part of the sports and entertainment marketing cluster at your school. And Bernard also mentioned project management. What's really unique about that course is that project management gives you an opportunity to learn how to manage large projects. And whether you're going into filmmaking, you're going into hospital administration or something else related to healthcare, or you're going into hospitality and you want to work in resorts or the tourism industry, you're going to have large projects to get off the ground. And so pairing project management with something else you're really interested in, that's a college major. Like, you'll find value in that when you go on to college. So some college majors available. If you're in this career cluster in high school, you would look for universities that offer majors in entrepreneurship or food and beverage industry management. Sports, entertainment, and event management is a very popular major. I know that the tourism industry and hospitality have had some struggles through COVID, but I am confident that we are going to bounce back because people always have to eat. They always need a roof over their head. And I think that the tourism industry was such a humongous industry across the globe that we're going to bounce back. We're already on the upward trend. So let's go to the next slide and check out a few pictures of students doing some of these things. You know, whether you have visions of starting up a food truck, or you love your chemistry class and your biology class, maybe you want to pair that with your love for food. Maybe you enjoy that Foods 1 or Foods 2 class you have in school, and you've also loved your chemistry class. Okay, great. Well, there you go. And that's another example of college credit. If you're taking AP chemistry and you pass the AP exam, you're going to get credit for chemistry if you're a food science major. So that would be a way for you to get credit for that class at the college level. But this picture is really just to give you a wide variety of careers in hospitality management and tourism. Now, some of your high schools may not be diving too deep into hospitality itself, but most universities like Johnson & Wales, we really put a lot of emphasis on internships. So you'll be doing an internship at a four-year university, typically with a hotel group or with Disney or with Sara Lee or with US Foods or with the Carolina Panthers. So wherever you hope to go, that internship is really going to solidify that you've chosen the right major. And that's in all of our majors. I do want to mention too, Lee was talking about Cape Fear Community College. Yes, community college is a 2-year associate's degree, but we've all said you can continue on at a 4-year university. Johnson & Wales, 4-year university. Bernard, 2, 4 at Living Arts, 4-year university. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to misspeak there. So it's important to understand that you may start at a 2-year and then transfer to a 4-year. Or maybe you want to go on into the 4-year experience. But all of these majors are available at different levels based on what your goals and dreams are. So let's look at the last career cluster that I'd like to talk about today, and that's marketing and really sales. The CTE courses in high school that you might take would be fashion merchandising, of course, marketing principles of business. I'm seeing now that North Carolina is offering a sales course, which is really interesting because developing sales skills can take you anywhere, whether you're selling knife sets or you're selling cars or you're selling scripts to producers. So the sales skills that you can learn in that class, extremely valuable. These majors are easy translations to college. So when you see on a college website, marketing, management, fashion, merchandising, and retail, or just business administration. In fact, I would say to you that if you are a student currently taking a CTE course under the business umbrella, whether it's Principles of Business, Microsoft Word, you're taking Accounting 1, Personal Finance, if you're taking those courses, you are hands down better prepared than some of your high school counterparts who have chosen not to take those CTE courses. So although you may not be getting college credit, you're going to come in with a greater understanding of what some of that terminology means. And that's half the battle in CTE, is understanding the vocabulary. Fashion merchandising is actually a college major that doesn't get a lot of press, but it's everywhere. When you think about the way products are displayed in Old Navy, the way products are displayed in a stadium when you go in and you buy some fan apparel, you think about the way things are retailed at your local gift shop at the beach. That's all merchandising. So there are people in that field that are buyers. There are people that are designers, people that are marketers for the fashion industry. Even some of you right now, in the clothes that you're wearing while you watch this, it might have the Adidas or the Nike logo on there. That's merchandising. So marketing, of course, is really the selling of goods and products and the promotion of that. So lots of majors. And I would also encourage you CTE students, if you're in clubs, like if you're in FBLA or you're in DECA or you're in Skills USA at your school or HOSA for health sciences, that gives you a lot of real world experience, opportunities to really build your skill set. Continue that on at the college level. All right, let's go to our last chunk of pictures here to see some of these majors in action and what that means and what that looks like and what that would be doing, what you'd be doing in that field. So if you look at yourself, visualize yourself in one of these pictures, or one of the pictures that Living Arts offered, or a picture that Cape Fear offered. If you can see yourself there, then chances are this is a college major that you may want to select when you go to college. So lots of things going on in that experience there. Hands-on learning in CTE is why chances are you're going to pursue it when you go off to college, whether it's a 2 or 4 year experience. So let's take a look at our last slide here together. Transitioning to college. You students in CTE courses, chances are, because I was a CTE teacher at the high school level, I know that your teacher is extremely engaged and he or she is working very hard to provide hands-on experiences, oftentimes work experiences or job shadowing outside of the classroom in order to help you get a bigger perspective on this. I want to encourage you though, as you transition and you make next steps, it's really important that you start advocating for yourself. Because you enjoy CTE and you enjoy really a lot of that problem solving, begin thinking about asking those questions that are going to help push you to the next level. CTE is not an area in high school where you can sit back. Now, I know there are some easy classes out there that may not challenge you as much as the upper level classes, but really be that learner that asks questions. At the college level, that's what's going to set you apart from your counterparts in these majors that you choose to pursue. You really are going to go deeper in the content, and it's going to get harder. For those of you that may have taken biomedical technology at the high school level, maybe that class was a little easy for you, but by the time you got to health science 2, the content is much more challenging. Same is true with the Adobe and the multimedia classes, the digital media classes. Okay, well, you might understand some social media and some of these platforms on your phone, but now you got to start learning how to do the coding and the programming on the backside. It's going to get more difficult. So expect that. Your Culinary 4 class is a lot deeper and more complex than Foods 1. So high school students that are thinking about majoring in these pathways, the work is going to get more challenging. And we need really bright students that love CTE in high school to continue to pursue these majors in college. I've already mentioned the internship. I know that, again, speaking to my own experience, if you've taken Foods 1, you may have found that class to be extremely easy, or maybe there was some baby work in there because your student base is really big. But by the time you get to food and beverage entrepreneurship, it's not easy running a business. It's not busy work anymore. This is the real deal. CTE is about preparing you for a career. And we've all touched on these majors that are hard. And but it's exciting because it's stuff that you enjoy. If you don't know, if you have a teacher maybe that maybe is new to North Carolina and doesn't know some of our universities out there, or maybe you haven't had access to college tours yet. Maybe you're just a sophomore and you're listening today and you're enjoying your Foods 2 class, and you think, gosh, I might want to pursue this. Where could I go? I'd like to recommend the CFNC website. Here in North Carolina, we are fortunate to have the College Foundation of North Carolina to assist with this. So you can do some searches in there. Maybe you want to look at all the universities that offer some digital media majors, because there was something Bernard said that really sparked your interest. You can go to CFNC and you can use some of those digital terms in there to do a search for universities that offer that. That will also help you determine, do I want to stay close to home at a 2-year school? Do I want a 4-year school? Or do I want to move to a different community college to get the experience that I'm looking for? And of course, your instructors are full of ideas. So that's really the content that we have today. We do want to be sure we answer questions. So Bernard is going to kind of navigate that Q&A. If you have a question that you haven't asked yet, please be sure to put it in that box. So Bernard, I'm going to ask you to kind of help us divvy up questions that we still need to address for our listeners.
All right, thank you. And of course, we encourage you to continue to put your questions in the chat box. And I want to address 2 questions at the same time. One, and those questions are, how do you get students exposed to CTE areas that are not offered at their high school? And actually, we have another question that actually answers that question from my perspective. And that is, there was a question about also how to get colleges and universities to come visit. That's a great way to expose your students, particularly in areas that you do not offer. So for example, if you don't have a film class, hey, you can contact Living Arts College or whatever college offers filmmaking and have an admissions rep to come out and present to your students. And so I'm gonna throw it to Lee. She has answers on that one as well.
Yeah, so another great way to, you know, if you're a high school teacher or a high school counselor and a student is interested in maybe like film and production and you guys don't offer that at your school, if your local community college does offer like a film and production or broadcasting degree at their school, students can always do Career and College Promise. It's a great way for students who maybe you're in a small area and there's, you just don't have the resources to offer those programs at your school, but the community college does. So CCP is a great way to kind of learn about new programs, but it's also a really great way, say you've got a student who's taken your Carpentry 3 class 6 times, maybe it's time that they start building on that and maybe take, a class at their local community college so that they can see, well, I've hit the limit of what's being offered at high school. Let's take a college class and see if it really is what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think, and Lee makes a really good point about taking classes at colleges. In light of the unique situation we're in this academic year where so many things are offered online, there may not be a community college in your immediate community that has the course you're looking for, but the community college system across North Carolina is offering a lot of classes online. Over the years, I've worked closely with Wake Tech in the Raleigh area, and that community college has tons of programs, and many of them are online. So if there's a program that your student is, I'm kind of exploring this, check the community college system and see, is the course offered in an online format for our students to take that would then be through the CCP program, and we could get them credit for that. So I think that is a great suggestion. Bernard touched on this, to just continue with that about exposure. Many of my admissions counterparts are happy to come to a classroom and speak to teachers and their students about a particular area. For example, at Johnson & Wales, we often go into foods classes and try to expose them to other areas. I work with an English teacher in Hope County who, yes, Hope County High School is a big school, but she wants to really expose the seniors that she has in her English class to a bigger major pool option. So connect with colleges and universities that you find a possibility and say, hey, would you be willing to speak to our students about this particular major? I think that's a great suggestion. Bernard is right. We're eager to talk with your students and to call upon us and let us know what we can do to support you.
All right, thank you, ladies. Also, let me just add to that as well, as far as exposure. Job shadowing, internships are a great way, and even if you're able to, of course, we're in a unique time, but field trips to companies that may offer that area that you may not offer. Real quickly, we'll throw another question. We'll go back to Lee for this one. What kind of ideas would you suggest to promote CTE clusters or career options that to students that may not need a 4-year degree?
Yeah, so inviting people in is always a great way. We get requests from our local school systems all the time, and we send faculty over to the schools to kind of give like a, this is the degree we offer. This is what you can do with this degree, because a lot of people aren't aware, that you can make a really good career and not go to school for 4 years. For example, at Cape Fear, we offer a diploma in wooden boat building. It's not a 2-year program, it's about a year long. And those students are getting hired by, major boat manufacturers such as Jarrett Bay, Grady White, Hatteras Yachts, and they're starting out at $40,000 to $50,000, which y'all, like, I'll never make that much. And I went to school for 7 years. So it's a really, inviting faculty in, and faculty can help connect, can really help connect the student to other students who they might be able to set up like a time to do like an informational interview. Because, hearing it from a faculty member or from an adult is great, but hearing it from another student is even better. Hearing a student success story about, I went to such and such a school, maybe I did a 2-year degree, maybe I did a 4-year degree, but this is where I am now, and I've made a success out of my CTE career. So I think, inviting the faculty in and having, seeing if the faculty can help you connect with maybe some students who are really successful in their program.
I think that's a great idea. One of the things that we do at the college level that I think you could easily translate to the high school level is do a panel. Let that be kind of a senior seminar. And you have people from different professions, different career paths, different college level of experiences, and allow your students to listen to those stories. I think that would be really helpful. I think schools do a great job of offering sessions on financial aid and sessions on scholarships, but sometimes we miss the boat and we don't offer enough sessions on college majors and pathways. So I think that's a great idea.
All righty, and so our time is getting short. We'll send it back to Mandy. There is a few questions that remain, and you're able to receive those answers after we are done today. So thank you all for your questions.
One other quick thing I want to throw in there, and I think, do we have one more slide, Lee, with our contact information or not? I can't remember. So here are our specific contact information pieces if you'd like to connect with us directly. Over the coming weeks, CACRAO is going to have some college and university sessions. So all of us have opportunities to share more about our specific college. So if you're watching this today and there was something we said that interests you, please, check that out on the CACRAO website. But we do want to hear from you. We're here as a resource. And all 3 of our schools have very strong CTE pathways on this continuum. Different than some of our state counterparts who are more general in some of their majors. I think that our universities are all positioned with some very, very specific CTE pathways that I think you might find interesting. Adam, we'll let you close us up whenever you're ready.
All right, we thank you for joining us for this incredibly informative session this morning. One thing to note, after you close your window, there should be a quick 4-question survey, and we would encourage you to fill that out as it will provide valuable feedback for CACRAO and StriveScan. We also encourage you to sign up for more sessions. As mentioned, you can find these on the CACRAO website at cacrao.org. Also, a recording will be made available for this particular session, and it will be found on that same website. Take care and have a wonderful rest of the day.